Tim, it seemed like you got your guy in the draft. He seemingly kept falling, but you guys had him pegged all along, didn't you?
Well, you have your draft list, and you've done a lot of scouting to prepare for the draft, and it's not just the last week that you're looking at a player, it's all season, and in this case, multiple seasons. So you have a lot of information now, and so you stick to your list. If the best player that you have is available, then you're going to take him. So when it came down to Brandon, it was a profile that we were looking for. So it was a combination between sort of the best player we felt of it was available, but it was also happened to be a need with losing, Josh we lost, and we lost Mark Bloom, and so we felt like center back was an area where we feel like we could, add some depth, and look, all the players have a chance. He can kind of improve himself. Obviously, he's a player who's highly touted, and he's good with his head. He's a good passer. He obviously has some height on him. He's a big boy. So I'm excited to get him into the mix, and I know Greg is as well. And then in terms of the other two picks, we felt like we have a number of players in our USL set up and in our academy that we have the luxury now where we can use some of our picks as assets. So when we got the offer from Chicago, that's typically not something that you can get later on, sort of in the year, is $75,000 allocation for a second round pick, in this case too. But so we felt like, looking at our roster and all the players that we have coming into the USL camp, that it was the best thing for our club.
And how really does that allocation money, for the first time it's announced at the draft, which was of interest to all of us, but how does that give you freedom, maybe moving into the season where perhaps making those picks wouldn't have?
Yeah, I mean, 75, that's a senior roster player. It's more than a senior roster player. So it gives us flexibility to bring in more players if we need to. And salary cap space is hard to come by, especially when you have our players, in terms of a lot of from last year hitting bonuses. We're against the cap, and so this is good. This is valuable for us, and then we're also excited about all the players coming along in our system.
Do you have cover at right back, Tim?
Yeah. In terms of right back position, obviously we have. We have Steven and Nick, who can play out wide, and frankly, Justin can always slide over to the right. But we are looking at bringing a couple players into camp that we've already identified in our scouting network. That we're looking at some right backs in this draft. They got picked, and so what we'll have to do is we'll have to go through our system and the scouting list to bring players in. So we'll see. But we expect a few to be in camp when it starts in 2 weeks.
But really, do you see the move you made in the second round a compliment to the squad you have now?
Absolutely. I think it sends a message that we like our team. Doesn't mean you can't improve, but we signed Sergio Camargo, one of our homegrown players, who we think that would have gone top 10 if he were in the draft. We got Aubrey now, and so we still have more picks. Doesn't mean that we don't feel like that we can't find a diamond in the rough. It's just, an offer comes, you have to evaluate it and determine, if it's a good deal, and we felt like it was for us.